let's go. Oh, should I try and make any predictions of what I expect? I don't really know what to expect though. We know they're balancing skills. I don't expect, but I hope that they somewhat nerf Occultist a little bit. Because CI has just been buffed like fucking everywhere. I swear to God, if there's more CI buffs on the tree, like everyone in the world is going CI again this league. Like it's becoming really, really good. It's becoming really, really good. I expect them to do it. They're gonna buff CI on the tree, aren't they? Alright, let's go. Tomorrow we're releasing full patch notes for Path of Exile Synthesis. In the meantime, we'd like to talk about some major balance changes we're planning and expansions in our intentions. I'm just gonna real quick, gonna do something. Go nuts, Maticky. I'm not gonna pay a lot of attention to chat, but you can just... Thank you. Spells. For a number of leagues, the majority of builds that use spells have used proxies like totems, traps, or mines to cast skills for them. There have also been a focus on skills that do their work automatically over a long duration. For this expansion, we focused on putting the power back in the hands of the caster. Rewarding players who cast skills directly. In addition to a number of new support gems, we've made changes to almost every damage spell in the game. Okay, cool. We've reviewed and adjusted the base damage and effectiveness of almost every primary damage spell. We've also included some traps, mines, and totems in these adjustments. These changes have focused on separately balancing low and high levels. Many skills have only required power increase at low levels or high levels, depending on where they naturally excel. Okay? We also reviewed Val skills and skills from items. Ooh. A small number of spells that we considered too powerful for their ease of use, like Brand's Winter Orb and Blade Vortex, have had their damage lowered. Get fucked! They nerfed Brand after one league? We'll be revealing the full list of changes in the patch notes. They nerfed Brands after one league? And Winter Orb? Oh. That is... Look, they were... I'm not going to say they weren't too strong. But they like having strong things, and I kind of expected them to leave brands that powerful for another league, because it's only been one league. Because they said they like having strong things. But... that's okay. Mana cost of many skills have been adjusted to make the mana cost per cast time of a skill much more consistent. Most skills that were adjusted have had their costs lowered. There are a few exceptions to the cast time equivalent mana cost rule. Channeling skills are slightly cheaper, while curses are more expensive than other skills of equivalent cast time. We will include a list of specific changes in the patch notes. Many spells that had cast times higher than 0.75 rather have been lowered. Many spells that had cast times higher than 0.75 have been lowered, and their damage adjusted to match. These skills were often too unwieldy to cast yourself, and their high effective hit damage made them very powerful traps, mines, and trigger effects. There are a few examples of cast times changes. Discharge from 7.5 to 2.75 from 1 second. Glacial Cascade to 0.7 from 0.8. Arc from 0.7 to from 0.8. And Ice Nova 0.7 from 0.8. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Some skills had lower area of effect than other skills without good reason, and have either had their area increased or now gain additional radius as their gem levels up. Combined with new options for increasing spell area of effect. Combined with new options, please, for increasing spell area of effect. This should help these skills be more memorable to use. You'll find new sources of area of effect on the passive tree for casters. Note that we'll be giving similar bonuses to attack skills in the future, not in 3.6.0. We've made a few other changes to various spells, like lowering the cooldown on Convocation. Nice! Having Spark be able to re-hit a target it has pierced after a short delay. Nice. Having Unearthed projectiles fly much faster. Nice. Nice. These are buffs. Arc also had its... Arc also has, learn to read, Arc also has a lower chain distance now, so it won't bounce between distant packs of enemies. Anyway. A number of support gems that have fallen behind others in power and utility, receiving some numerical and mechanical adjustments. Chain support, Fork support, Spell Cascade, and Innovate have had their values improved. Arcane support now has a damage multiplier at higher levels of the gem. Onslaught support and Summon Phantasm support now have effects on hitting rare and unique enemies. Talk about hand casting, I'm about to fucking do some. Anyway. Curses. Powerful bosses, especially Elder and Shaper, previously had significantly less curse effect of curses on them to stop temporal chains and enfeeble from trivializing these encounters. We've now adjusted the curse effect reduction to let damage curses provide more worthwhile damage bonus against bosses. Temporal chains and enfeeble now have a separate value of damage reduction and slow on normal and magic item enemies compared to rare and unique enemies, with rare and unique enemies having about half the effect. The accuracy reduced on enfeeble has also been reduced. That is a huge buff! Are you kidding me? That's so nice. That is so nice! What the fuck? Curses OP, guys. Curses OP. Curse supports were already viable for bosses, despite the less multiplier. This is a huge buff. Energy Shield Leech. We've added multiple sources of Energy Shield Leech into the game, both on a new support gem and for passives and for spells on the passive skill. Seriously? Energy Shield Leech on the passive tree? Okay. Okay, that's fine. Energy Shield has a lower cap on maximum restored leech per second in life, 10% of maximum energy shield. But the deducted Energy Shield Leech passive will let you increase this to the numbers. Ghost Reaver now doubles your maximum energy shield per second, in addition to turning all life leech into energy shield and lowering your recharge rate. This makes it good for pure energy shield casters, as well as letting attacks have easy energy shield leech access. Dedicated. Right, is that what that says? Dedicated. Ah, my bad. Leech Lengthener. Previously, there was no upper limit on how much an individual leech effect could restore. This meant that very high damage hit with enough leech could last minutes, if not longer. If you had an effect letting your leech remain on full life, now there is a limit of 10% restored per leech effect. So each individual leech effect can't last more than 5 seconds. For the Ascendant Slayer passive skill, this is 5% lower. Ooh, that's, Ooh, I was okay right up until this last sentence. That's, okay, I mean, that's still useful. And it's still... it's still strong, but compared to what they just did to Energy Shield, they're really making ES feel like the way to go again. They're really, really making it... okay. Alright, that's fine. I'll adjust. It's fine. We made a large number of changes to the passive tree to provide more diverse sources of power and interesting mechanics to spellcasters. Energy Shield Leech. We've added a number of sources of Energy Shield Leech for spells on the passive tree. Both specialist clusters that also boost your damage in a few different ways, and as part of the Fire, Cold, and Lightning Heart notables, Shadow area of the tree also has a small amount on a few evasion and energy shield paths. Okay. Alright. Sure, that's fine. There's no problem with that. Caster weapon passives. We've added and adjusted a number of passive tree... Oh, that one got really loud. We've added and adjusted a number of passive tree clusters that affect staves, dual wielding, and shields for casters. These provide powerful bonuses to spells that were previously only ever found on very generic skills, including a lot of cast speed for casters that are dual wielding, a lot of damage and defenses for those using shields, and bonus to area of effect for staves. We've also made various additions and improvements to some underutilized passives in the spellcast. Okay. Alright. I guess I'm not making any sign-ons this league, but I'm fine. I'm happy with this discussion so far. Elemental damage wheel. The elemental damage wheel of passives to the left of Templar's starting area now has fewer elemental damage skills and single powerful elemental notable that combines some of the power of the previous... What? The elemental damage wheel of passives to the left of Templar's starting area. This one? Or this one? Right, whatever. Fewer elemental damage skills is a single powerful elemental node that combines some of the power of the two previous elemental notables. It now includes two notables that will work very well with the new spells that convert physical damage to fire and lightning. Okay. Ah, that's fine. Shadow starting passives. We've adjusted... Oh, please. Oh, please. We've adjusted connections in the tree and the shadow starting area to be more consistent with other classes, and changed the defensive passives and projectile passives to have simpler, widely useful set of bonuses. A notable passive providing evasion, energy shield, and energy shield leech. Make some of the bonuses they'll pay Shifting the mana path so it is now parallel to the jewel and now grants a small amount of increased mana regeneration. Please? Please, please, please tell me that this horrible triangle goes away. Oh, please. The pathing through this bit right here of the tree is the worst on the entire tree. It's so bad. Please fix it. Channeling passives. We've added 2 new passive skill tree clusters that provide damage bonus for channeling skills as well as some defensive properties while channeling, like stun, avoidance, and physical damage reduction. So there's 2 of those. Okay, I'm on board with that. The Trickster's Ghost Dance and Escape Artist notables have been reworked significantly. Escape Artist? What the fuck is that? Oh, these ones! Right, okay. The Trickster's Ghost Dance and Escape Artist notables have been reworked significantly with the goal of providing a unique, very powerful reward for specializing in evasion and energy shield. Ghost Dance now creates a Ghost Shroud every second, up to a maximum of 3. After you are hit, a Ghost Shroud is consumed, restoring energy shield based on your evasion rating. Ghost Dance and Escape Artist now have other bonuses based on your Ghost Shrouds. We've also added Frenzy and Power Generation while channeling to the Swift Killer notable, to let channeling tricksters generate charges during tough encounters. Guys, Trickster was already pretty good. Trickster was already pretty good, and Occultist just sort of edged it out in most cases. This could be. I need to see all the patch notes. Alright. Inquisitor. We have reworked the consecration-based notables of Sanctity and Pious Path to greatly improve readability of consecrated ground for the Inquisitor. Readability. Wow, I misread reliability as readability. We'll just move on. No one needs to. We're fine. We pretend that didn't happen. Anyway, instead of just giving powerful bonuses when you manage to be on consecrated ground, Sanctify no longer creates consecrated ground when hit or on kill, and instead will always create consecrated ground around you while you're stationary. Ooh! Pious Path now lets the effect of consecrated ground linger for 4 seconds after you, allies, or enemies would no longer be affected by the ground. Other effects have also been changed and improved. Maybe we want to make Eldris an Inquisitor of some kind. These changes work well with changes to all consecrated ground that cause hits against enemies to have 100% increased critical strike chance. Okay. Other changes, critical strike chance. Previously, an effect that could critically hit was capped at 5% minimum critical hit chance and a 95% maximum critical chance. We've set both of these caps to 0% and 100%. Anyway, effects that gave enemies an additional chance to be critical hit have all been changed to instead increase the chance of critical hits against them, or give additional critical chance before modifiers, as if the attacker had critical bonus against the target rather than additional chance added on top. Holy fuckballs! Okay, that's huge, by the way. This paragraph right here is fucking massive. This is huge. To quickly explain it in case anyone doesn't understand, you may find that with a crit strikes gem and a good crit spell that you have somewhere around a 9% base chance to crit and a, in practice, 90-odd% chance with your flask up to crit because of that 9 base. Because of your passives and whatever you're doing in the diamond flask, you end up with about 90 from the 9. Something like Assassin's Mark, I forget the exact number that it gives. We're going to say 2% because it makes it easy math. Don't get hung up on the exact number. It used to be that you had 90% with a flask, and then if you had the curse on it, it would be 92. Now we're talking about having it so that instead of your 9 base percent, if you have Assassin's Mark on it, it will add the 2 to that base, so it would look like 11 base, and that would get multiplied by everything. And then you could just, what? That on top of the Consecrated Ground stuff, which gives extra crit? This is insane. That is so good. Everyone's making crit CI builds, by the way. Everyone. If your build was not a crit CI build, you're doing it wrong. This is insane. Non-chaos as extra chaos damage on weapons. The interaction of the non-chaos damage with hits as extra chaos stat and multiple damage conversions made this stat more powerful for a very specific setup than a single stat should be. We've lowered the value of these stats on the combined craftable spell damage and non-chaos damage as extra modifier. Okay, whatever, that's fine. That's fair. I mean, that was way too strong anyway. The Veiled mod that only grants this modifier has now been split up into 4 versions: Fire, Cold, Lightning, and Physical. These modifiers are now available as a mod on many caster weapons above level 60 at a higher value, making it a more powerful effect to find when creating a perfect element specific caster weapon. I mean, that's fair. That's fine. That's fine, that's fair. They're right, that was way too powerful. Existing items will not be affected by this change, so hi to all of your legacy items that are now worth a buttload if you give a shit about standard. That's fine. We'll be looking at other sources of the stat like unique items and Trickster's Harness of the Void notable in the future. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Plus 1 maximum totem veil modifier. This modifier is no longer available as a veiled crafted modifier. Instead, it now appears as a mod on Shaper shields. The modifier was too powerful to be able to easily apply it to an already strong rare shield, so now you have to get it earlier in the process of crafting an item. Okay. Sure. At least it exists now, I guess. Unique nerfs. We've made some adjustments to a few unique items that were problematic. Details will be in the patch notes tomorrow. More impulsor nerfs! More impulsor nerfs! Damage immunity. We've made a few changes to prevent total immunity to specific damage types, as these can be used to completely trivialize some encounters. Player maximum resistance can now never go above 90%. Any maximum resistance you have above this value will have no effect. This is especially important as synthesis introduce other sources of maximum resistances. Whoo, that's rough. That's... whoa. Ooh. Vile impurity auras now provide less damage taken of their element and have less aura effect per level. Gluttony of element skill now also provides curse immunity. That was the best way to fix that. make it through that one. The Gluttony of Elements skill now also provides curse immunity to prevent interactions with temporal chains, making it letting it last far too long. Technically, this is a buff. Oh, that's fantastic. That's so good. Technically, this is a buff. Oh, that's so good. There are plenty of other changes on our hit list for the future. Attacks need the same level of attention, if not more. They definitely need more. That spells are getting in 3.6, as well as changes to abyssal jewels and physical weapon damage. But we will be spacing these changes over 3.7 and beyond to make sure they get the time and attention they deserve. We look forward to sharing the full patch notes for Path of Exile Synthesis with you tomorrow.